So today's the day. We're going to do the graphics on Levi's bike with new plastics and everything. And I've got it set up on the table here. We've got our graphics kit, got all the plastics. Hopefully I can still do this and it turned out pretty good. I'm going to do it outside today because I don't really want to go inside with all of it. We got River out here. That's what you hear in Levi. But there's a little bit of before. I mean, a little before shot. We did go ride. I know it's not as clean as what it was, but we're gonna fix that. I am missing one clip, so I'll probably won't be able to connect that back unless I come up with something. But other than that, I'm about to take the plastics off, and then once I get started on installing the graphics to the new plastics, I'll swap back over. But I'm just going to take the old plastics off and let Levi kind of clean around on the frame and what we can't normally reach with the plastics on. So we're going to do that, and I'll be back. Hey guys, I'm back. Got the plastics off of Levi's bike. He's down here polishing, doing his thing, trying to get to the places that we normally can't get with the plastics on the bike. You know, just it's going to get dirty again, and you know it ain't that big of a deal. But while we've got the plastics off, we're gonna get in there. Here's the old plastics. We're gonna end up putting those back in the bag. And as far as quality on the Acerbus plastic kit, these ended up looking a lot better than the UFO plastics that I got for my bike. At the end of the day, you're going to be putting graphics on, so I don't think that it matters too much. As you can see, I mean, these have been on for a little bit, and the graphics are even getting scratched up here. So I mean, scratched plastics don't really bother me too much. But these, at the end of the day, if you're looking for a better quality plastic right out of the bag, I would like to say box, but they ship them in a bag, then Acerbus might be the way you want to go. Now, the YZ85, it had a whole lot of these little metal grommets and stuff. This kit did come with enough to do your rear pieces, and that was it. So you will have to reuse these metal brackets or these washers, spacers, whatever, for the new kit. It came with these two grommets. It took me forever to figure out where they went because I was missing one. This is a used bike. We didn't buy it new, so one ended up missing somehow or another. But this is the kit that we're going with. Jack down in Enamel hooked us up again. This is kind of his own design, his thing. And hopefully it looks really good with the blue wheels and the blue gas tank that's on the Yamaha. But let's see, we're back again. We've got this little squeegee. Decal Works sent me that with the seat when I did my KTM. Still using that. I've got the heat gun from Harbor Freight. It comes in handy in some of these harder pieces. I think that this one here is going to be the most difficult piece that I've got to do. I hope that's the only difficult piece I've got to do. And then the mixture that we use on these graphics too. Again, this is not Rain-X. This is soap, water, and rubbing alcohol. And if you get to a spot that's got a lot of curves and a lot of small edges and pieces, you can spray this on real lightly. You don't want to put too much. You just want to put it on light. The alcohol helps it dry up fast, and you still don't want to be like putting this on and then going right out to ride. You kind of want to give this time to dry. So we're not riding this weekend, so it'll have plenty of time to set up. But it does help you slide those graphics around a little bit. If you kind of are a little off center, it kind of helps that adhesive kind of move a little bit, and it doesn't become so tacky. Anybody that's messed with these before knows that once these things are on, it's almost like you've got to rip it back off to get it off. So that helps. The heat gun for certain spots, and the squeegee for your long flat surfaces. As long as you get your corners lined up, you can go right in with that squeegee and try to work some of this out of there. I'm gonna set up right here on the table, like at this angle pretty much, and hopefully that'll be good. I'll try to show some details as I can, but once I said before, I don't have one of those cool little, you know, follow me around cameras. I've just got a little 4-inch tripod here that I'm gonna set up there, hooked up to my power bank because I didn't charge my battery. And we won't be listening to music today because of the you know, the whole copyright laws and stuff, but we are going to get started, and I will hook this back up to my power bank, and I'm going to verify the angle. Okay, so I'm going to start with probably the number plate up there, just because I want to kind of get a little bit back into what I'm doing. Working with these graphics can be a headache sometimes, and you don't want to screw nothing up. Hopefully I don't. I've done a few of these, and you try to make them perfect just to go out and rip them up in the woods. So it's not that big of a deal, but you do spend a lot of, you know, you spend a pretty good bit of money on this stuff, so you kind of want it to look right, at least for a little bit. This kit was, for the 85, was 160 bucks. It was like 158 some change, and that's from Enamel Graphics up in East Ridge. So it's nice to do business local. If you're local, I suggest you use him. I've used him on that, and it's took a beating, and they've held up pretty well. But we'll start straight into this, and first of all, I'm going to make sure that it looks like it's going to fit. Boom, it does. And like I said, this is just like a, you want to mist this. I mean, you know, I don't know if y'all can see that in the background, but I'm going to hold it over here and do it. As you can see, I'm not putting that much on there. That's just to help me. We'll go straight into the big guy here. Also, if you've got a dog, suggest you shave him before you do your graphics, or you'll hate that. And you know, right there's my dog, not shaved, but hair will be present in everything that I ever do for the rest of my life, I think. Okay, I'm going to start this at the point down at the bottom. Try to make it look as centered as I can. It'd be nice to get this on the first go, but with that soap and water on there, it's not really that big of a deal if you don't. It kind of helps you again. Like I said, it's not a now it ain't gonna be that forgiving, but it is something that helps you out. That squeegee, it'll push that stuff out of there. So I got a lot of comments the last time from friends and family about why I sped up on my last video, and I came in to that one pretty excited and gung-ho. I mean, I just had started kind of recording stuff, and truth be told, I was a little cocky at the beginning of that video, and I screwed up right out of the gate. So yeah, I'll just fast forward through all of that, and that's what I did. On this one, I'm going to try to go a little slower. As you can see right here, I have no issues with that staying down, but it could be that mixture of stuff that we've got. When you put that on there, it definitely will not adhese as good as what it's supposed to right off the bat. Gives you that opportunity to do what I just did there and take that stuff, peel it back up. get too much of it, you'll kind of fight it. I've got that sitting pretty good. Looks like it's a little off center. Not too bad. Gap there and there. It's not awful. Need to definitely get the job done. Take that. And all I'm doing here is I'm trying to, one, help it dry, but one, help it stick a little better because of the stuff that I put in. And it'll bubble out, like as you're going, that stuff bubbles out. So you can kind of see it coming out whenever you're using your squeegee. Another thing, I mean, you want to use a plastic squeegee. Even with this one, I don't know if the edges have became, kind of got some teeth on it or something. I don't know how it's doing it, but even this one, if you press too hard, it'll scratch it. And you don't want to pay all that money for your graphics just to go and scratch them up. So don't press too hard with your squeegee, but you do want to work that water out. And when you get down into your little finishing touches, God gave you the best tools in the world. You got them fingers. I shouldn't scratch nothing up. Alright, so there's that. I am off center. You can tell that I've shifted over too far that way. But I think it's still going to be fine. I've got these two little stickers here. I don't think there's no need for any of the compound on these ones. I'm just going to go straight in. Just like so. I'm going to leave this laying here and check the angle of my camera real quick too when I get done. This kit's going to look pretty cool on the bike. Neat I picked it out. Definitely tried to get him to go with something a little different, but there's that. Let's see about the angle of the camera. I don't think that's going to be too bad. When we get to these bigger pieces, I'll be down the table some too, so everything here looks good. I feel a bubble though. And there she goes. The bubble came out. I'm looking over it left and right. There's still a little something there. So one thing too is you can try to get too perfect on this and spend a lot of time heat gun back and forth. The vinyl heats up super fast and it will get super thin, and then if you go pushing on it, it will stretch. Sometimes it's better just to leave well enough alone. Not saying that this piece is messed up, but I've learned that on previous kits, and basically you'll end up ripping a hole in a brand new set of plastics because you're trying to get a little bitty bubble out. That once I called and talked to these people that make this stuff, they were like, it'll seep through eventually like that, as long as it's not everywhere, like you didn't just slap it on there. That bubble, those small imperfections, sometimes they'll clear themselves out because even though it's adhesive up against plastic, it's not airtight. Those bubbles will seep out, kind of lay flat once it sits in the sun, once the bike gets hot, once you're moving around. It will correct itself over time. So it's good to be a perfectionist sometimes, but you can try to get too perfect. keep on working my way through the easy stuff. Levi, will you bring a trash can over here? Go to, start at the front of the bike and go to the back of the bike. And since I'm doing this outside, I didn't really want to put all this out on the table because of the wind. I feel like if I put it up under, yeah, it should be okay. Some of that's going to have to be cut out, I think. Oh no, that's for the gas tank. Okay, I was curious. See, that's a side piece, and this has got holes in it. But on your 2019 YZ, your throttle side will go straight to the gas tank. Confusing me for a minute. We're all good. Alright, there's where we're going next. Yeah. And hit it with a little bit. I think this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take my rag and like leave that wet, but I'm not gonna leave it as much piled up. And I've went over these once and got all this dog hair off of them. It just keeps coming back. But like I said, unless you just shave your dog, you're not gonna be able to get rid of that. And I'm going to start this one at the same way, back here at the back. Get off some more dog hair. It looks again like I have shifted to that same side again. Going close. I don't know what angle is going to be best for y'all. Just working that out flat. I'm not trying to do too much, and you can't. Right here where that angle comes down, if you try to put this down first, you're going to create an air pocket there, so you really need to heat this up or start your way down into there. You need to start from the top and work your way back down, because if you go, like I said, if you start down here, you just created an air pocket, and you know, then that's kind of hard to get out. So this thing's going to look pretty good. Starting to bend a little bit there, and this is I haven't used the heat gun on this side yet, so I don't know if I'm going to have to. I want to kind of do it by hand first and see how well it looks. It is a big sticker, so if I mess up it can come off. And those are just little trimmings from the machine. Looks like that's going to be a pretty steep angle for it to stick at, but boy, did it go down pretty good. It did create one little pocket right there where that one turns at, and we want to take that off. So there is an air pocket about where that star's at, and I'm good with it. I mean, it's not really that noticeable. No, looks pretty good. So rinse and repeat. This time knowing that, I think I will try to hold the front of this up a little bit as I work it down. Push that air up toward the front. There we go. So that time, barely any soap water. Soap and alcohol water. And no heat gun. And it went on pretty smooth, so you don't have to use that every time. Which last time, I think that's why I got so cocky. I said, oh, I don't need that stuff. I'm just going to go straight up right in here. Maybe a little practice run's what I needed. There. Oh. Get a video of me falling down. Alright, now I am going to go put this sticker on my work cabinet. Okay, I'm back. My little work cabinet, all these little stickers they send you, for your little racers. I didn't get none of these on my kit, I don't remember. But I guess you got to be a little guy. Definitely give you enough to give out to the whole family. Little stickers. I put them on my workbench. I've got some for Olivia, some for Levi over there. My little work cabinet gives you a bunch of his brand stickers, which I used on my bike last time in a few spots, but it's on spots where I pressure washed off. So I always get him to put his brand on my graphics. Like, yeah, man, I want to advertise. Look at that. There's more of those things.
Infinite stickers.
Infinite stickers. You get them to Papa's friends, Mama's friends. Whole friends and family could have stickers with Levi's name on it. These are pretty cool. He had one with a skeleton with a helmet on it that I really like too. I was hoping to get another one of those. Oh, look, I've got one in this kit. This one's going to be the hard one. Let's go ahead and put it there. Front fender isn't going to be much. It's just a little piece. Kind of goes with the blue. And do the same thing here. Just hit it with a little bit. Boop. I'm going to take and wipe that down. Not drying it off, just staying pretty wet.
Get most of the wetness off.
Most of it off there. Now, this is an awkward piece. It really is. It's super awkward. This has got those wings in it. So I'm just going to sit right up in here. I believe that it is made to go right. I think it's made to go right there. Yeah. Stuff's sticky. I'm about to have to put soap and water on myself. Okay, so I think, is it made to go all the way down there? It kind of looks like it.
I think it may have.
I think that's why it does turn that way. So I've got that just laid there, and it looks like a nightmare, but nothing's fully pressed down. And I'm just trying to make sure that I'm putting this in the right spot. It looks like that's where it's supposed to go. I am going to press it down one side and then the other. I think that I may have to come over just a little bit. Not that far, apparently. It gets a little bit more difficult on these pieces like that. Got something going on this side. I just want to keep up. I really like to that worked out pretty good, actually. You gotta be careful when you peel these things back off, because it will rip, especially if there's already a little groove started. I think that's how that was supposed to go. I was trying to line it up flat and even, but I think it was supposed to overlap a little bit, and I think that's where I was running into my issue. First time I've ever done a kit on the YZ, so I'm not really positive of how it's supposed to go. I think this one too, I will definitely be hitting with the heat gun just to try to get some of this to lay down. Got that little spot where it was cut right there, right in the center. Got a big air bubble right there. That's to be expected though, because of the way that that comes down. And we'll hit that with the heat gun a little bit, try to get it to lay flat. But for the most part, that doesn't look too bad. Don't like how it's doing that in the center. Alright. It turned out way better with a little heat on that one. And I've got a little adhesive there that will get washed off with my rag boy.
Huh?
Get that rag.
He's looking sharp.
Okay, get that adhesive off there. Now he also, on the kit, he gave me these 2 stickers, I'm pretty sure, to put on the fender up front. I don't think there's any other ones. Yeah. So I'm just gonna put one of these. My buddy that we ride with, he's actually got some graphics that he came up with, and I was hoping with the blank spot up here on the fender, maybe putting one of the Mayhem graphics from Wit on here. He's since we went with the USA, he's got some cool stickers and graphics that he's come up with for some guys he rides with. So I'm wanting to throw one of those up here on the front, kind of fill in that blank spot there. Doesn't matter anyway, these things are gonna get scratched up pretty bad as we continue to ride. But today we're going fishing after the graphics are done. There's my front fender, boom, enamel. I think that looks pretty good. And I'll put that Mayhem sticker right in the center, right there. There's that. Hey, these things are normally pretty hard too. These freaking fork guards. Shoot, forgot about those. Just because you're trying to take a flat surface and make it go around the cylinder surface with all of these little grooves and dips and turns and things in it. It's a pain in the butt. I guess we'll go ahead and do those. Now I've got to remember too, to make sure you get the right one. I'm pretty sure it's going to go like that.
Dropping stickers now.
What, bud?
Drop a sticker.
Yeah, but we ain't keeping those.
Huh?
So we ain't keeping those. They can go on the freezer.
Take it around the camera.
It's just difficult to get your hand on here. That looks pretty freaking even to me. Got the hummingbird coming. When you go to pulling this thing, it gets tight. When it gets tight, you normally mess something up. So, there's that. We'll figure out where I've messed up here in a minute. said, you're making a circle, and you got all these ridges and bends. You gotta work it, start from one side and work it all the way around. And on this particular one, all I did was I started down here on the bottom and tried to get it as straight as I could just by looking down it. But those things, the ridges in here will cause an issue for you. Yeah, they look cool, but it will cause your vinyl to bend weird, maybe come up a little short, a little crooked. I got my scissors hanging up over there.
Was it?
My scissors.
Your scissors, I might have not seen them. Do you want me to grab if you're in the house?
Yeah, go grab them.
Come here. I couldn't go fast because I can't run with scissors.
Yeah, don't run with scissors.
It's a good life lesson.
That's what we're here for, life lessons.
Exactly. I'm laying these right there.
Good. I'm just working out some bubbles.
Some bubbles.
We got one down there that's coming from these contours and bends. Especially where they come together, that little Y, you'll probably have an air pocket there. I mean, you can see a little bit. This is the bubble that I'm talking about. I've got one down here that I'm trying to get rid of. And also, since it wrapped around and hit that guard, I mean, look at that. I can just hold up on that. I didn't even need those scissors. I thought it was connected. So all I did there was I lifted up, stuck it through the little hole. I didn't know that. I had it laying over top of it and I didn't see it. My bad. It's kind of sticky right here though. There, okay. It popped, I heard it. So there's one of them. There's one down. And hopefully this is the easier one. We'll just do it the same exact way, just a little bit reverse. Shouldn't need those scissors. doesn't take much of that heat. And I did that to help me fight through those spots that I had on that other one. Maybe I can get away with not having to fight them so hard, just giving them a little bit of heat as I'm laying it down. Come on. You know you want to go to your forever home. Oh yeah. It ended up working out pretty daggone good. Got this little bubble up here. Good to go. Like I said, you'll probably always have one when them two pieces of Y come together. You don't really want to push that down anyways. It'll just create tension somewhere else. There's that one. Look there, another sticker. I don't want to throw it away. Put it on the back of my bike. Alright. So, gas tank one. We're down to these ones. This one does not go on that one. This one goes in here. Sweet. So we're going to do something a little bigger than what we've been doing. Got that black plastic on it too. Not really messed with it too much. Not laying graphic on it anyway. I bet it sticks a lot. Okay, so this one's gonna have that contour for this bolt hole right here, and it's got to line up to there. You can see that that's got to make a bend, so you can work your way from there to there, but I'm going to try to line it up at the bottom and then the side, and then work my way to the top and fold over, because that'll be less material to worry about. With this being a big piece, I'm going to take and fold this back so I don't have as much to work with. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm just going to fold my paper back, and I'm going to try to get in here and line up my bottom. And you've got a hole down here. You got to use things like holes, edges, and corners to help you line these things up. So basically what I've done there, I've got myself a good sticky spot on the bottom, and from what I can tell, I'm pretty even on the bottom, but I may have to twist it a little bit. So now I've got that cardboard up there, and it's not giving me the exact, but you can see that runs down that edge pretty well. I mean, even with that paper in the back, you can see that. My hole is definitely going to line up with the hole that's in here, and the hole in the plastic, that hole lines up with the hole in my graphics as well. Around the top here, it looks like we're going to be pretty flush until we get to where we're making it that bend, and then we're going to come down and ride that white part. So that looks pretty good. I think we're pretty set on this. I don't think it's going to do anything weird. So I'm going to come back. I'm just going to go ahead and take this completely off, but I don't want it to smack right down on top of there either, so I'm going to put my hand behind it. And the reason that is because I kind of want to hold it up, and I'm going to work it a little at a time down through here. Once I get a good flat surface on everything, lay it down, and then, like I said, up here around that bend is pretty much my main concern. And there's a transition point from the white plastic to the black plastic, and you're gonna be able to see that, and I wouldn't fight that too much. And I keep saying, oh guys, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Probably doing the worst out here, but I'm telling you, you know, like, you can spend so much time on these and then go ride one time and trash them. So you spend how much time you want to. I know nobody's going to look at them that much. Nobody ever does. But I do want them to look really good when they go on. So I'm following this line pretty well up top. Right up here is going to be the problem spot because you got this angle coming to that angle. It does appear like we're right in that V where we needed to be, but we're just right at the top of it. So that might give us a little bit of a hiccup. Let me try to lay that down. Shouldn't be that big of an issue. As you can see, I'm starting to get to a crease, and that's because I've laid this front piece down before I worked my way that way. You'll get that every time. So just don't go too crazy. You can always pull it back up, but like I said, you got to be careful in these spots like that, because with that already being cut, when this stuff decides it wants to go, it just kind of goes. Definitely struggling. We have to get that to lay flat there. Okay. Maybe the heat gun will take care of that for us. Got some of that out. I'm going to lay this blue straight over to the top. Nice. Now, it's pretty good. It's flat across the bottom. Got it on the top. It does appear that it could have came down a little bit more, or maybe shifted. I don't know which way I would have shifted. Maybe back, because this hole, you see how I'm closer here than I am there? Maybe I should have shifted back a little bit. I do have some overhang here, and that's no problem. I'm gonna get my razor blade and cut that off. I'm just going to take the razor blade and run it straight down the edges. And that's nothing against Jack or nobody. We're working with aftermarket plastics. We're working with me, an imperfectionist that's trying to just get these graphics slapped on. And maybe like I said, I should have centered that a little differently, but
Still looks amazing.
yeah, when you get it on there, you ain't gonna know that.
Yeah, you ain't.
You ain't gonna know that. The only people that it knows, whoever watches the video, and us.
Yeah.
But there's that one. I guess I'm saving the worst one for last. I don't know if it's going to be the worst one. I mean, that gas tank might be difficult.
Yep.
Not ever laid plastic straight onto a gas tank. It's going to need some good cleaning, so hopefully you got it good and washed.
Me?
No, the other guy, the other guy that owns that motorcycle.
Yep, look bad. This is like that because
It's going on this side over here.
look bad.
I'm going to need you to clean these forks a lot better.
Oh, I thought you meant down on the bottom.
I didn't mean the bottom, but I want them hard. Okay, same thing on this one, except we're going to start on the right side. I'm going to flip it around the right way. And I'm going to take and peel my graphics back just a little bit. You got to go a little, a few inches. You can't just put just the bitty tiny bit, because it'll still move. You got to get enough to where it really plants and you ain't shifting it around when you're trying to push, like make sure it's lining up, because you'll fool yourself if you just got a little bit down there, because your mind, you're like, yeah, I can move it, and it will move. So the biggest thing is give yourself enough down here on the bottom to see which way you need to go. And I think I need to bring this one forward. Really sticky. Another thing, we did put a skid plate on his bike, or I did, and that video turned out to be really crappy. I was working with a skid plate that the instructions didn't involve any pictures. It was all words, something I haven't messed with before, so I did not upload that video. But just to let you know, I did do it. I did put a skid plate on. This one's not lining up the way I want it to. Goes down. It's staying kind of low. I think I would like to see how this other one. I mean, it looks like it's the same. Looks like it's the same through there.
I don't know where this piece came from. It's from home. Oh.
Yeah.
Mine are up on the tube somewhere.
Well, it's the brackets for your brake line. Okay. Make sure the hole lines up. It does. This hole lines up. It does. This hole lines up. It does. Okay, I don't know why this one's throwing me for a loop, but it definitely is. Don't let nothing hit until you're ready. Ooh, 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 ooh. Big bubble. Right there. Easy enough. Got a big bubble. And it's gone. Sweet. And come in here and get that as straight as I can. Told Levi I'm gonna have to get him one of them Uncle Ronnie get-ups with the helmet. Out here running around all patriotic and whatnot. Gonna be Pat's Blue Ribbon. Come on. I can tell y'all that that front fender is going to be a nightmare.
You think?
But maybe I'll get my practice in. It'll be okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to work any of that out. Come on. Work your way over. Alright. Don't look that bad. I got one little spot right there, and it's probably a freaking dog hair. One little crease. And I bet there's a river hair in there. But for the most part,
I wonder whose fault that is. You.
that looks pretty good too.
Go closers, get their hair up. All of everything.
Okay. It's getting about time for the camera to overheat. This one's going to be pretty good. Goes on. This right here. When you get something like this, going on something like that, what I normally try to do is I get my longest side, and that's where I start at. My longest straight side. That way I can kind of, you can't start at the small spots and work your way out to the big. I mean, chances are that's not going to work, but I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to get me enough to where I can pick and move and change this thing around. Folding over, got me enough to work with. And I'm going to go straight down in here. I've got this square down here and two angles to try to line up with. So once I get that looking relatively close, I'll lay it down, stick it on like so. Now you can kind of see what I was trying to line up with. This edge, and then this square. And the square, I'm probably down a little further than up, but for the most part, it looks relatively good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make sure that all this other stuff lines up with that. You can see that everything is lining up. My hole up here at the top, it's also going to hit, and there's not one down here for this hole here. So we will hopefully be good with what we've got. Bend this out. You don't want to crease this stuff. This is super thin, so you don't want to be peeling this one on and off. That's Probably shouldn't have laid that there. Probably should put it on a piece of paper, which I think is what I'm going to end up doing, because I'm going to work this at 3 different pieces. Just going to lay this paper down. And then I need one scrap piece. There. And if you do that, make sure that you don't do what I just did. Make sure you use the right side. That other side's a pain in the butt to get these things off of. One's a shiny side, one's not. Alright. So I'm going to peel this one back up. I'm going to pull everything to where it's nice and tight, not giving me no wrinkles. And I'm just going to work it straight down, back and forth. Got that laid nice and flat. This back off, and that little bit of paper just laying there probably saves me trouble in fighting the rest of this stuff. So I'm going to do the same thing for this side, just because as you lay this down, the other side's wanting to lay down too, and like I said, you will rip this stuff if you're not too careful with it. For the final one, I'm just going to try to pull both up and out to get both of my edges tight. And when I said that, I was pulling this side tight, and trying to pull up on this is make it tight as well. Now there is a little bit of play there. I can pull down and move it and shift it once I get it on here, but as I go through, I can kind of determine which way I need to shift it. But for the most part, you want to start out nice and tight, nice and tight. And it didn't even look like we needed to shift too much. It kind of did what I needed it to do as I flattened it all out. Dang, I thought that one was going to be way harder. There's that. And I just hit it with a heat gun, a hair dryer will work, but mainly what that'll do is those spots that are not all the way down, they'll kind of rise up, and you can see those. And it also helps that adhesive kind of bond a little better, just heating it up some. So definitely recommend hitting it with a heat gun. Not too much, just enough to get it warm. Like I said, those spots that are not fully sticking, they'll kind of pop up, and you can press down on those and get your air bubbles out and get them pressed back down good. But yeah, I thought that was going to be super hard. This piece is supposed to go on the gas tank as well, here, once this one goes on. So this will be the last thing that I put on probably. So
It looks like it's the least hardest. Hopefully.
Levi, we're gonna have to take the camera over to the bike to do the gas tank, and Levi's gonna hold the camera.
Yeah, I'm cameraman for today.
Come over here.
Cameraman never dies.
Okay. Just stand, I guess, like that right there. Yeah, that'll work.
Oh, I can see inside. I got that.
Got it?
Yeah.
The screen will go black here in a minute.
Either this is just gonna be terrible footage or good footage.
You'll do alright.
I can at least see the whole frame of the bike before it went black, so let me see.
That should be okay. Alright, so this one doesn't have, it's got a long straight one up here, but if I was to be off a little bit, I kind of want it to be up here, up under my seat. That way if I'm too long, I can trim it down and it won't be that big of a problem. The biggest issue is I don't have much to go with other than the top of that tank. I think what I'll end up doing is trying to do maybe the bottom, but I can already tell that some of this is going to fold over. So I may shoot for this side here and do it the same way that we've been doing the others and just kind of do it like this. Now anytime that you've got a notch in your graphics like that one, that's probably going to take that one up on the top there, and then you're going to pretty much roll. Oh, and this one's got these squares all in it, these X's all in it. So this is going to be one of those ones that we definitely don't want to screw up too bad on. So going to come down some. That's what it's wanting me to do with it. You can see this notch needs to go down some. So I'm going to take it off and come up with it just a tad. big fan of all the X's. I understand why they're there because of it being the gas tank. Go ahead. Maybe Yamaha shouldn't have put plastics on their gas tank. Or graphics. I'm sorry. And the reason I say that is because each little thing's giving me like a square. So it kind of wants to come apart in a square every time that I press it down. Good news is though, is those air bubbles, they've got a place to escape.
Yep.
But the bad news is, it wants to pop up at every little square. Now I've got a feeling if you get one of those that doesn't lay flat and they cross over one another, it's going to be a heck of a time trying to get it out of there. Never done anything like that. You can see I'm getting into a problem spot right there.
Looks so smooth.
That actually went on a lot smoother than I thought it was going to, but you can see in every one of these little X's where your graphics were in a bind, they kind of open up, spread apart. I've got this one that's kind of creased over a little bit on top of itself.
Yeah.
And I don't really like that. But then again, I know that why they put the X's in there, just because the expansion of the gas tank stuff. This gas tank will do this, and you can't just put a normal sticker on it and expect it to stick. So they put that one on there to give that a little bit of a, where it can move. I understand it. I'm a fan of it, but I understand it. All right.
Looking nice.
So we've got to clean the frame and put those stickers on there. But I mean, for the most part, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video off. I'll do a before and after. I don't know if I did pretty well of a walk around at the beginning of the video. And I'll do one after this. But I'm going to clean, as you can tell, I've got to clean the frame here. Do it on both sides, get those stickers on there because I've got those too. And then I've got this small sticker to put here. That's be about the only thing y'all miss out on, other than me putting the bike back together. And I mean, all it is plastics. And we got another air filter too. We may go ahead and do that. Yeah, other than that, I'll be back. All right, guys. So here's the finished product of the graphics. Like I said, I didn't think you guys would want to watch me struggle putting this thing back together. I moved it back here into the back where I could get like a good 360. The seat's still doing good. It's a little dirty from the ride the other day. And everything went back together pretty good with the Acerbus plastics. Everything was pretty good. I did have to end up re-sticking my stickers down here and actually put some heat on this because when you do these would be tight down here, and I just had to go back over them as I was putting them on and realized that it did that. Another thing with the YZ, this radiator piece was bent, so as I put this piece of plastic on, it kind of was a struggle, but Levi didn't wreck that. That was done by Harvey. But yeah, there it is, finished product.
She looks so sweet.
Have to get with Wit. If you watch it all the way to the end of the video, look, I've got a spot for that helmet right here. A Mayhem helmet right there. But other than that, appreciate y'all watching my video, and we'll see you next time.